Hi, I'm Lynn Finch with another weekly episode of the No-Cash Allowance. Today, we're going to look at defining the roles of parent and child in the No-Cash Allowance. When using a strategy like this, the roles of parent and child creates a consistent structure for success. Income and expenses are tailored for each child by age and interest. The home account consolidates money in and out and boils it all down to a single number: the balance, the bottom line. Let me read you this quote from Investopedia about kids and allowances. Paying kids an allowance can help them develop their financial skills and enable them to make smarter decisions about money as adults. It can also encourage financial independence rather than relying on their parents for money. So we start with defining the roles of parent and child. The parent is the banker. The child is the account owner. This makes it very clear. The bank does not tell you how to spend your money. And the account owner, you decide how to spend your money. So with this, your child will get a regular allowance, consistency. It's money that will never be withheld. There are other ways to modify behavior. We can talk about that in a future video. And you will tell your child there will be other opportunities for you to get more money. Oh, and by the way, you get an allowance raise on your birthday. And you will have some expenses that you need to pay with your allowance. Parents, you might think of this as an apprenticeship in money management. You start with a guidebook or a curriculum, like the No-Cash Allowance, and you set some standards for the allowance system in your home. And you put emphasis on skills development by giving kids complete control of their money, the funds, the tool, hands-on experiential learning experience with money. And the compensation does include that regular allowance and opportunities to gain money doing other things. Some chores for pay, not everything is paid, and some incentives and other activities that you develop for your family. Robert Kiyosaki tells us there's a little bit of magic in every mistake. The magic is called learning, and your kids will make mistakes. But a kid cannot make a mistake that will harm them in their adult future. A $10 mistake by a 10-year-old is a gentle learning lesson compared to a maxed out credit card as a young adult. I'm going to read an excerpt from an Amazon review. We are all very pleased with the information in this book. Handling money is a complicated process, but Lynn presents it in an easy to understand method complete with charts, diagrams, and illustrations. She developed it and lived it as her children grew. This is how she taught her children the concept of money, going through the trials and errors of experimentation with a totally new approach. And I have to say, we did have to be flexible because we didn't know when we started this how this was going to work over the years. And we both learned something. Our kids amazed us with their ability to negotiate. We had a lot of negotiations. And those are some of the fondest memories I have of raising our kids, is seeing how they grew in independence and confidence and responsibility because they owned their money. And here's an anecdote for today. This is one of my favorites. A 5-year-old girl is shopping with her mom, and they're heading towards the checkout counter, and the little girl finds something she wants, and she says, "Hey Mom, would you buy that for me?" And the mom looked at her and said, "Well, you have that amount of money. You have enough money in your allowance, so you could pay for that today. You could get that today." Oh, the little girl looked at her and said, "Oh, no way, no way. I'm going to save my money and I'm going to buy something way better." So that tells us that child has ownership of her money. But as we all know, if mom agrees to buy it, they're great with it. But if it's their money, they have second thoughts, as she did. When your kids track all their money as a number, they become better money managers. The link to this corresponding blog can be found below. The No-Cash Allowance book shows you how, and these videos explain why and what can happen when you use this approach with your children. Next time, we're going to look at introducing family values in your allowance system. Thank you for listening.